Hi, I'm Steve. You can call me Steve. This is a carrot. It was grown from a seed that was planted in the ground and then harvested. It's natural, right? Wrong. This is a genetically modified organism. It's larger, sweeter, and less irritating than the wild carrot, which is the weed known as Queen Anne's lace. It's been dramatically changed compared to the natural version. And I'm going to eat it anyway. It's good. Yeah. What's up, Doc? GMO stands for Genetically Modified Organism. It's a life form that's had its DNA modified in some way, shape, or form. We've been doing this for thousands of years. The vast majority of our food crops, farm animals, and pets look nothing like the wild varieties they were developed from, because we've selectively bred them to meet our needs. It was a slow, arduous process over many generations of picking individuals with traits we found favorable and mating them so that those traits would show up in their offspring. It was done without an understanding of how genetics or inheritance worked, but it was eventually successful. The genetics of the new organisms were modified compared to the original organisms. Selective breeding still goes on today. New varieties of fruit and flowers are being introduced all the time. It doesn't always go well, though. There are breeds of flat-faced, bug-eyed dogs whose entire existence is torment because they were bred for looks and not viability. Their poor noses are bashed in so far it's hard for them to breathe properly. It baffles me that people think this looks cute, but then I'm a cat person. The other type of genetic modification done today is genetic engineering, which is the type that people get upset about. It's done scientifically, with labware and people in white coats peering intently at beakers of colored liquid. What they're actually doing is directly introducing the desired genes into an embryonic form of the organism, which then grows normally. This avoids the lengthy process of crossbreeding back and forth and hoping you get what you want by random chance. It also allows you to introduce genes from species that your organism can't breed with. But wait, isn't mixing and matching DNA from different species unnatural and against the laws of God and nature? Well, first off, I'm an atheist, so I really have no idea what God wants. Secondly, that is already common in nature. Most bacteria share genes with other species of bacteria, and the same is true of more complex organisms as well. It's called horizontal gene transfer, and it happens all the time. It's the same process as transferring antifreeze protein genes from one plant to another to improve climate tolerance in a vital food crop. The fact that it's done in a lab is what scares people. I've said it before, the distinction between natural and artificial is entirely artificial. Genetic engineering is just more efficient selective breeding. If the genes were truly incompatible, then it just wouldn't work. It would not produce a viable organism. Okay, so why do we do this? What's the benefit? Improved crop yields, for one. The history of agriculture has been a never-ending battle against pests, blights, drought, floods, unseasonable cold, unseasonable warm, and crop shortages. Well, we can't do anything about that last one. We can engineer crops that will better tolerate all of those other things. With climate change already occurring, vast areas of the planet are about to become unsuitable for growing the crops that have traditionally sustained the local populations. Hardier GMO crops will allow those populations to continue to feed themselves and stave off a massive humanitarian disaster. Likewise, salt-resistant crops can be grown in coastal areas that are subject to rising ocean levels that will contaminate fields with salt water. Feeding a burgeoning population in a changing climate will be one of the greatest challenges facing the world in the 21st century, and GMOs may be the only way to meet that challenge. That's genetic engineering. These organisms are not Frankensteinian freaks of nature. They're the product of a far more efficient form of the selective breeding that we've been doing for thousands of years. Everything you eat has already had its DNA modified compared to its wild ancestors. And the same is true of your household pets as well. Eating food that's been genetically engineered will not harm you, and it will not alter your own DNA. Thanks for watching. I've been Steve.